Hello, everybody. How's it going? I am just getting the word out, letting people know that I'm streaming. I don't have an Instagram post prepared, and at this point I'm probably not going to make one, so that's just me not being very efficient, but that's fine. Sometimes Instagram doesn't get notified of things, and it's not the end of the world. Just need to continue painting these goblins, so figured, hey, why not share that with the world? I know it's a little bit later than I usually stream, so hopefully that's it's not too much of a problem. We'll get going here. I will tell Hector that you said hi, that you're watching Yellow Jackets. It's great. I still don't know if the issue with the chat box is fixed. It looks like it isn't, which is really annoying. I've been trying to figure out how to fix that, and I just haven't quite got it yet. I don't really know what's up with it. I don't know why YouTube decided to change things and make them more difficult for me, but that's a really fun feature that I'm experiencing with the chat box. I'm gonna look into that and see if I can figure it out, because I feel like it should be there. But for now, we're gonna just vibe with the chat not showing up, and we're gonna chalk it up to a technical difficulty. And we're definitely not gonna say that it was because I didn't feel like fixing the problem. I think it's YouTube's fault for changing their system, and less my fault for not knowing how to work with their new system. I'm working on painting these goblins for the clown collab, and this is my inspiration right here. For those of you who didn't grow up obsessed with Neopets, I'm sorry. This is my Neopets plushie, and this is a squig inspired by its color scheme. So here we are with that. I'm trying to figure out where exactly to place the camera so that you guys can see everything, because still new setup, so let me know. But this is what we're working with for inspo. This is the Fairy Kugra for anyone who is cool. This was the Neopet I wanted so badly as a child, and I have now as an adult. But I need to figure out what color to do some of the metallic parts. I think I'm just going to go with gold for some of them. And then, like, I need to paint little stars on some things, so we're gonna do that. I have this absolutely wonderful golden so flat paint for that, and I wish it had kind of spilled out the side, but that's fine. We'll just work with what we've got. I was worried about spilling stuff on the plushie, to be honest with you. That's why he is out of sight for now, so that there's no risk of getting paint on him. You guys working on anything cool tonight? Do tell me if you are. I'm curious and I'd like to know. gonna be a lot of me just painting tiny stars on things for some part of this, because I also wanted to represent what I think is the most iconic color in the Neopets paintbrush line. Like, it's the one I think of when I think of Neopets, and that would definitely be the starry paintbrush. Don't know why, that one's the most Neopet to me. Chilling after a campaign game? Nice. I was hanging out in my Discord server with some of the cool folks who hang out there last night, and we were talking about the brain rat on the back of the Storm Fiend kit, which I have dubbed in a similar vein to Nurgle and not liking it, and everybody has immediately hopped on to that being the hot new meme in the server, so there's been a lot of brain rat there. Usually I have the brain rot and not the brain rat, but I feel like likely whatever you're calling her royal grotesquerie would get along with brain rat. Lots of stars are just little triangles that turn into little blobs that hopefully become stars at some point. Like, I hope this is going to read the way that I want it to. But if it doesn't, it'll definitely read something in a close approximation to clown. And I think that's good enough. I'm really not happy with any of the tiny goblins that I painted. I tried out a couple of different things just because I was waiting for paint to dry on these guys, and I felt like I should be using that time for something. But they all ended up various stages of terrible, so I'll probably prime over them and repaint them. They don't really need to be done for this project. They're just kind of like a bonus if it happens, so I'm trying not to stress out about it. I can't say that it's working because it's not, and I wouldn't lie to you, but it does worry me somewhat. Is my little talkie guy talking? I don't think that he is. He hasn't been talking. My mic's plugged in. There we go. That seems to be working now. Sorry about that. I don't always notice when the talkie guy doesn't talk. I'll probably just have to recode the chat box a little bit. I'll make some tests with it. I have a lot of video editing in my future, and I can do that as a break from all of the editing that I will have to do. I don't know if I'll get another video out this month. I might try. But between redoing the hobby room and trying to finish off these projects that I have due for upcoming collabs and deadlines and things like that, I'm running, feel like I'm always fighting the clock is not the best feeling in the world. So I definitely want to make sure that the collab I'm running for the clowns is done on time. And as you can see, I'm still painting them, so that doesn't bode particularly well for me. But I figure if I can finish painting them this weekend, which I still have time to do, I'll have plenty of time to edit. I just need to actually do the things that I say I'm going to do. Which I don't know if you know this, it's way easier to say you're going to do something than actually get around to doing it. Like, keeping commitments, way harder than making those commitments. Some people in the server have been sharing their clowns, though, and oh my gosh, there's some good little buddies. People have been making true art, and I'm very excited about it. I'm also probably going to throw a wash over this whole thing, which worries me because if the colors change too much, I'll probably cry. So I'm thinking I might do it with, like, panel liner, so I have, like, cotton swabs and can clean stuff up if it gets all messed up. You know what I'm talking about. I have mineral spirits and water and all close to hand, and panel liner seems to work better about cleanup ability. Yeah, I want to get my paint pot done, but I still haven't figured out how to prime that, and I said I was going to go to the store and look for silly putty, but I didn't do that today. I got so distracted by this bread that I bought at the farmer's market that I didn't go anywhere else because it was really good. So I was like, this is just the main event. I don't really need to buy anything else. Totally forgetting that I needed silly putty. I played some Magic the Gathering with friends. I lost 3 games. I did not come particularly close to winning, but I did have a lot of fun. And then I watched Shape of Water with a friend today, too. So lots of socializing, not so much on the getting responsibilities accomplished side. Did I plan into my day getting stuff that I need to do done for tomorrow? Absolutely not. Not a chance. I think adding a yellow liner to his little coat is kind of fun. I can mess with the starry pattern just a little bit on all the different guys. It was really good bread. The bakery called it a focaccia. It was definitely not a focaccia because it was not like that thin, not super risen, tastes of olive oil type bread that focaccia is. But it was still really good. I got some cheese with cranberries in it, which was also really tasty. And some garlic cheese spread, which is good too. And I think tomorrow I'm going to make a potato soup. And I will dunk the bread in the soup, and it will be delightful. It's going to be a good day, full of fun and adventure. Alright, so I think I'm going to try out some gold metallic on the metallic parts of this. And I'm going to say, chat, to tell me whether it looks good or bad. But what I want you to do is affirm the opinion that you won't know, because I'll have that in my head. And then if it doesn't match my opinion, I'll be sad. So we're going to see how that works out. Just going to gently set the top of that there. That's just going to be a mess, but that's fine. glasses are cool. That's neat. That's good. Let's see. I need a smaller brush. Most of the brushes in here are beat to hell. You will do nicely. Get whatever gold paint I have. Sorry, my phone is giving me notifications. Let me take care of that for a second. Sorry for the noise. I'll just beep-boop those off. There you go. I have so much room on the desk. I'm still not fully adjusted to it. I can shoot so much of desk. But it also casts shadow because light above phone, so should adjust for that eventually, but that might be a future 5's issue to figure out. Let's get some gold paint. Actually, that's gonna kind of bug me if that's not fixed. That might work. Yeah, that'll work. Oh, I think that looks nice. I don't have any second guesses about that. That does look nice. It still looks very, like, sparkly and magical, which is kind of the vibes that I'm going for. This gold paint is very thin, though, which is not ideal. Doesn't work with my practice of one thick coat. I guess this goblin's gonna have played a lot of Minecraft because I'm definitely giving him like a little golden pickaxe. And I don't know much about Minecraft, but I know you can get gold tools, or I think you can get gold tools. I know you can get diamond ones. Kind of wonder if I should do the whole chain in gold, but I think just the accents might be good. I don't know. I guess I can paint just the accents, and then I can always go back and do the rest of it if I feel like it needs it. I'm not going to do these in non-metallic metal for 2 reasons. 1, I don't know how to do non-metallic metal. And 2, they would take a lot of time, and I don't have time for that. Not knowing how to do something isn't a particularly good excuse, because the best way to learn how to do something would be to actually do it. I do have gray sweatpants on. I don't know why that would make you simp at all. They're hardly different from my other various pairs of sweatpants, but you know what? You do you. Hello, Atomic Topher. Does the cup have gay moths on it? No, it doesn't have gay moths on it. What it does have is pastel mothmen, And they might be gay, but I don't know. I can show you, though. It's really cute. Oh. This is the cup. It's beautiful. It only has one purple moth on it, which I think is an interesting choice because, you know, I really like this yellow one too because he kind of looks like a hot dog, which I think is funny and an interesting shape. I was going to use it as a water cup for paint, but I kind of hate the idea of it actually getting dirty. So it's just kind of an accessory cup right now. I think I might, like, maybe I'll put, like, tools in it. Like, I could do that. Could make this a tool cup. I've got my little pokey thing. I've got my little... Is it smarter to store a craft knife up or down? Down. What else can we put in there? Got a sculpting tool with stuff stuck to the end of it. Excellent. Oh, that's crusty. This is a metal tool, and it is stuck in there. Come on now. If anyone was worried about how well the whipped cream stuff sticks to models, that is how well it's stuck in there. Just as a... Fucking... Probably set that in there to clean it out and then didn't think about it. But it works as an adhesive and it's kind of like this plasticky stuff, so it peels decently, but... Yeah, it's, it'll stick. Don't you worry. I mean, it's clay, so makes sense. Sometimes the nozzles can be a bit of a pain to clean out. Nail clippers, which I found are a more useful tool than you might realize. Tweezers, which I never remember that I have. Little holdy thing. Do I have any more tools in here? I think... What is this? Another little holdy thing. Okay, it's a tool cup now, we've decided. Please, down. Oh my gosh, okay. Fair. Yeah, you guys are smart and know stuff. Okay, tool cup. It's a tool cup now. We have that. We have it established. There's so much, I can't keep the whole desk in frame because it's literally too big. But, like, that's it. It's right there. These are all my brushes, and they usually sit back here unless I need them. So I'm gonna keep them here in case I need one. I was painting gold, though, so we're gonna hop on back to that before I forget what I was doing. I've got to paint the little parts he's holding on to gold. Goblin faces are definitely getting a wash because I don't have as much time as I would like to, and they're also tiny, so it's really hard to go in and individually highlight them up. Talking about goblin faces makes me realize I didn't reply to my friend's message when he was showing off his Mordheim Black Orcs to me, and I need to remember to do that after I'm done streaming. Though he's a reasonable human and will probably be in bed asleep. Alan has a sleep schedule. I don't. I like the gold. I think it's a good choice. I don't know that I need to paint all of the chains gold. I think that the blue kind of still works with the fairy Neopet theme and just having a couple of gold accents. I don't know. It feels very like tacky Barbie limited to kind of culture, if that makes sense to anybody. It feels correct in a way. So I'm just gonna run with it. Cause that's the vibe we're trying to hit. And we're hitting it. Things I need to do tomorrow if I can. I need to remember to prime some Tyranids. That's gonna be a video. Priming Tyranids won't be a video, but painting Tyranids sure will. And then I think I'll paint like the spike ball maces, whatever they're called. I'll paint the big things at the end of the chain gold as well. And that should work. That should do just fine. If you hang one of the arms of the clippers, you'll save room. Oh, you mean like just hang it like half in, half out of the cup? I mean, yeah, that's true, but the cup has plenty of room for everything in there. I don't know if you've noticed this, but I don't have a lot of tools that aren't just various paintbrushes. Most people are looking for ways to save room in their hobby setups, but I need to have things that take up room because my desk is much, much bigger than my previous one, so I need to start filling it up with stuff. It makes it very convenient though. I've just kind of left my laptop and stream setup off to the side. So anytime I want to stream, it's ready to go and I don't have to like arrange my whole painting setup around it. It's already set. It's ready. It's very nice. The one downside to this room is it's closer to my neighbor with a dog, and at night they like to just let their dog out in the yard for a solid hour and a half. Don't know why, but that dog barks almost the entire time that he's out there. So I might need to start wearing headphones in here while I'm hobbying at night so I don't get distracted by neighbor dog. Because I can hear neighbor dog right now and it's like, oh boy, hope that doesn't continue for another hour and a half. I don't think it's loud enough that you guys will be able to hear neighbor dog, but maybe you will. And if you do, I apologize. That's one of those things that I really can't control. It's outside of the scope of my ability. Okay. Yeah. I think that looks alright. All things considered, it's not too bad. I think I can probably, yeah, I'll just quickly paint up the gold aspects on this one because there aren't a lot, and I'll just knock them out. Anything that didn't get painted light blue on this guy before is just gonna get painted gold because they're goblins, and if they picked up stuff from multiple different shops or cobbled it together from different scrap, I mean, they're goblins. That seems like a thing that they would do. Spike ball looks weirdly cute, like it's got some freaking Mario enemy proportions. It does not look threatening. If I were painting this in my typical style, I probably would have turned it into some kind of like gummy candy. What I'm showing what I'm painting is not showing up on screen for you guys. Sorry about that. Again, this is all just adjusting to the new hobby setup. I don't know where to put stuff yet. Here we go. Kind of just looks like they shoved like a spiked dog collar around this squig's tail, which I think is kind of silly. It's more goofy goblin stuff, which really I'm all there for. You can play as goblins in Mordheim, I think. They're not like in the official like first book of stuff that GW released, but they're like a supplement or something. I think that's great. I think that just about every game should release a you can play as goblins option. Games where I can play as a goblin are just slightly better than games that I can't play as a goblin. Not that I need to play as a goblin every time, and I don't, but I like when I have the option to. Tomorrow I'm going to be playing D&D with some friends. It's been a few months since we last played in our Curse of Strahd game, and I think we all have vaguely forgotten what happens, so that's going to be fun to try and remember where we left off. I feel like it was somewhere really dramatic, and we were like, oh no, what's going to happen? But we've all forgotten where that drop-off point was, so we're just going to come back to it kind of confused. Which is a great way to play D&D. Oh, lizardmen are cool too. I really liked Dana Howell's most recent video where she was painting up some vintage lizardmen. They were pretty cool. Can I just use this paint? No, is it kind of got a crust on it? Let's see. I was using a different paintbrush. I was using a better paintbrush to paint all the yellow details. I should really switch back to that paintbrush, so I'm going to. This is for metallics. This one. Oh dear, I don't like how I opened that bottle at all. But that's okay. Nothing got on the desk. I do have a couple spots where I've flung water onto the desk, but that was inevitable. I wash out brushes rather violently. It cannot and will not stay perfect forever. Ugh, but we're gonna try. For as long as we can. Here's our Crunch boss. Initially, this was going to be a Captain Crunch themed Squeak boss guy, which was really cool, and I liked the idea. But when I started painting, I didn't like how the actual color scheme was turning out. So, I had to pivot. Which is another reason why I'm so far behind, is because I've changed my mind on pretty much the color scheme for every goblin that I've painted in this army. It's been a lot of just like, I have an idea and I really like it, and then I put the paint on the model and I'm like, I don't like the thing that I painted. And then I have to change it. Because I don't like compromising with my models, typically if I make a mistake on like a design choice, not if I just place a highlight wrong or something like that. Like that I've started to just live with. But if I paint a color scheme that I don't like, nowadays I'll just prime over it and try again. Because I know I'm not going to finish up, like I'm not going to sit there and complete a color scheme that I'm not feeling. Like, that model will never get done if I leave it in a color scheme that I don't like. And, I don't know if you know this, but I have a lot of unfinished miniatures that I should probably get around to painting someday. I mean, that tiny, cute Mandalorian has sat around for like a full year before I got around to painting him. I know plenty of people have models that have sat around for longer than a year. But I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to paint the stuff that I have. It's just, new stuff is really interesting. I was also trying to keep track, like a total tally of all the miniatures that I had painted this year, because I thought that would be fun, but I stopped counting at some point, and I just didn't feel like going back and starting counting again. So, maybe I'll try that again next year. Starry goblins are cute. I don't really think that blue and yellow like this is a good color scheme. It is definitely a Neopet color scheme, however, so that's what we're going with. I've painted like a brighter variant of this before, so I'm not sure exactly why I'm going with the navy this time around, but it doesn't look better, it just kind of looks different. That's fair. I know some people really prefer to build the models rather than paint them Rothian. And while I can't relate or understand, however you hobby and get enjoyment out of it is cool. I don't think I'll ever be one of those people who really is into the building of models, but that's okay. I kind of want to go with an undead warband for Mordheim. I just really like vampires I like bats. I like little skeletons, so that all seems like stuff that I could use. And I think the Mordheim community is very similar to the Necromunda community in that they're just kind of like, yeah, as long as I understand what your models are, I don't really care what you kit bash, what you proxy, what you say counts as this. So I think I might do some fell bats instead of dire wolves, because I don't really like wolves, but I do think giant bats are cool. I might do skeletons instead of zombies, but like anybody is gonna be like, yeah, that's the same thing. I might actually be able to paint up the freaking Archregent from the Flesh Eater Courts as a Dreg, or a Thrall, or whatever they're called in an undead warband. I've been wanting to paint that model up for ages. I just think he looks so neat. The pose is so good. Who doesn't love a little vampire doing a little cling to some, like, Victorian kind of rock carving sort of thing? That's just cool. It's a good pose. It's a good model. Well, I mean, I assume it's a good model. I've not actually built it or painted it, but I would like for it to be a good model. And then I have to decide if I'm going to do them in a Mordheim style and make them grimdark, or if I will do them in my own style and not do that. Because I've certainly painted grimdark things before. People seem to still get surprised when they find out that I've done a couple grimdark paint jobs. And then they're like, I want to see them because I don't believe that they're actually grimdark. And then I show them the model and I'm like, no, I know what grimdark is. I know how to do it. I just choose to paint other ways most of the time. I still remember some of the people I play Age of Sigmar with were like, wow, those are darker than how I painted my Cursed City models. I'm genuinely surprised. And I'm like, yeah. Versatility is a bitch like that, where you can just be like, I can do more than one type of painting. That you're basically the avatar at that point, I guess. Hello, Carbide. How's it going? What are you painting? What are you working on? I'm streaming later than usual, which is weird for me, but I'm also painting later than usual, so I suppose that tracks. Again, apologies that the stream chat isn't showing up in the video. I'm figuring it out since YouTube made a minor change and now the way I had it set up doesn't work anymore. I will figure it out. I just haven't done it yet. I've had other things going on. But it is on my list of stuff that I gotta do. So I'd never forget about you guys like that. Ooh, another show. Okay, cool. I hope that goes well. Show prep probably is mutually exclusive with miniature painting, in that you should devote your attention to one fully instead of both kind of half-assed. So, way to be responsible. Do the thing that you actually have to prepare for. Realistic, grimdark, silly, stylized. Long ago, the four painting styles lived in harmony, but everything changed when the grimdark nation attacked. Yeah, ain't that just the way? Listen, there's so many fun styles to paint in. I refuse to confine myself to just the one. I want to do them all, and I want to do them all relatively well. So, it's a lot of learning that you have to put in to kind of figure things out, but I like to think I've gotten there in the end with most of the painting styles I've tried. I did just splodge on yellow there because I didn't want to have to reopen the navy to cover that, and I will fix the rest of it maybe with a highlight, maybe I won't at all. It doesn't matter. My miniature, my way. It's probably going to be hidden on top of or underneath another mangler squig, so honestly, painting this many stars already is dubious if will be seen. Okay, that's looking good. Gotta get the... I don't think I'm gonna put stars on his hat. His hat's gonna be like a separate entity. Avatar the Last Paintbender. Yeah. Did you hear they're making more Avatar stuff? That's pretty exciting. It's not gonna come out for a few years, I think, because, you know, animation takes time, but it'll be good. Well, it may not be good, but it could be good. I hope it's good. I think it's one of those things where it may have been that the creators actually retain the rights to their product, which is doesn't seem to happen much nowadays. So they can just shop that around wherever they want. It's like how Futurama keeps getting brought back. Eventually someone decides that they're like, yeah, we want more of this. Go get that Simpsons guy and tell him we want his show back. And he's like, yeah, I'll make some more. Sure. I know I should know his name, but I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. He's the guy that makes all the stuff. I think that part is also part of the helmet. I don't understand how this works, but it looks like it's all one weird little helmet contraption, so I'll paint it up like that. And if it's wrong, it's wrong, and that's fine. That's how we learn. Matt Groening, yeah. That's what it is. Thank you. I knew someone would know. I did just dip my finger in paint. That's a very unpleasant thing to have done. Goblins. How do they work? Who knows? They just kind of are. They just kind of do. They just kind of hang out and jump around and generally cause mischief. It's very much like a cat, I would say, is how goblins work. Painting stars sometimes is just, it's very much painting blobs and hoping that they turn into a star. 'Cause this one certainly is more blob than star right now, but that's okay. I'd love to say that we'll get there in the end, but honestly, who knows? Vincey V or Scott used finger paints in a video. That sounds possible. People have experimented with pretty much every type of paint that they can think of. I've only really seen one or two types of paint that I haven't seen anybody try and kind of want to. And like, I'd try them myself, but they're expensive and weird to order. So I haven't, because I don't want to make that investment. But they might work really well. I'm also not the kind of person who I feel does well with paint tests, because I don't really test if something thins down well or goes through an airbrush. So there's a lot of painters out there who I feel are far better equipped to test out different paint lines, more so than me anyway. I don't even know if I need to paint the underside of this goblin. Like, I don't know if that's going to be seen by anyone, but we have access to it, so we're going to do it. I'm going to paint this gob. Well, there's a brand called Cartoon Color, I believe it is. And they're still producing paints that are meant to be used on sheets of celluloid for, like, old school animation, the traditional way. And they're pretty much one of very few companies, possibly the only company that's still making this type of paint that would be for sale to the public, as opposed to just private in-house studios making their own paint or whatever. But the whole idea of the kind of paint needed for animation is that you want something that has thin, smooth coverage in a single brush stroke. So theoretically it has good adherence, because I don't know if you've tried to paint on celluloid, but it's not easy. It's not particularly the most optimal surface for that. And it could have really good adherence and stuff like that, and it could work out really well. But I don't know. And at this point, I am unwilling to make an investment to find out. So it's a mystery for now. It's a BuzzFeed unsolved. Okay, I have to remember how this little gentleman adheres. I think he just kind of sits on like that. And then this little guy is here like this, hanging on for dear life. Yeah, that looks right. Do I want to glue them on before painting the gold parts? Because I think doing a wash of it all as one cohesive piece is probably the way to go. The good thing is, we've got almost all of our base coats done. So worst comes to worst, I stick this together and I have a end final product that I can show off. And that's something. Sometimes just having work to turn in at the end of class is a valid way to go about painting, if you're me. Do you guys think that one day I'll develop whatever it is inside of me that Golden Demon painters have, where they're like, I'm gonna spend 1 year painting a single model, and that's all I'm gonna accomplish, and it's gonna look insanely good, and that's the only hobbying I'll get done for the entire year, but it will be the best thing that the miniature painting world has ever seen, because I don't think I have that inside of me. I truly don't. I'm impressed by it, but I don't think I could do it. There's no evidence to suggest this. Yeah, that's fair. Plus, probably you guys would want to see more than one miniature a year. I imagine, anyway. You liken me to miscast? How so? Oh god, no. It will not. I'm not painting a great unclean one. I won that game of Malifaux with Mark, so I don't have to paint a Nurgle. I don't have to do it. Not this year, anyway. Been marked safe from Nurgle. I've got a model that Trent sculpted for me uh, at Adepticon, all painted up. I have to do the basing on it, but it's ready to go. It's very, very emotional for me to have a miniature sculpted by someone I admire so much. And I really hope that he releases all of those miniatures that he previewed in one of his latest videos. And he said they wouldn't be coming out for a while. I was like, that's fine. I guess I can wait. I don't want to, but like that's just how production and things work. But also, I want them immediately, and I would totally go for Carnival of Chaos in Mordheim if I had those exact minis, because they're so cute, and I would have a good time painting them. I can feel it. I'm gonna end up spending so much money on shipping from Australia when those guys release. Everybody should buy them, but they should buy them after I have secured mine so that I can get what I want. Because I'll be sad. You're both too curious to focus on one thing for that long. Yeah, that's probably accurate. Shipping does take a while from Australia, so just hang in there. I'm sure your toad is on the way, but also it's worthwhile to inquire about if you haven't gotten it. Alright, so let's talk about the other goblins on the table. This one's Scarlet. Scarlet Sleeper started painting at Adepticon. Did the goblin, left the squig. Pretty much done. I think I'm just gonna finish touching up the pink blade. I really didn't want to mess with their goblin paint job because I thought it was cute. And I'm trying to just sort of keep the style that they painted it in intact. So I'm excited about this one. And then here are two goblins that I painted that I don't like. I painted some sort of weird pink and blue pattern on this guy. I don't know why I did that. And this one looks diseased, and giving him polka dots did not help. He just looks worse. So, these are both probably getting primed over. This sword needs another coat of pink, though. I can knock that out while I'm here. I've done a cookie base before. I've definitely done cookie basing. No, Andy, there will be no nurgly squigs. I have to fix the squig that I accidentally made look kind of nurgly. He looks like he has the fucking SpongeBob ick or whatever when SpongeBob gets really sick that one episode. There was a time where I would have known the exact episode. I watched so much SpongeBob as a kid. Those days I fear are long gone. Remember in one episode, Squidward tells SpongeBob to shut his pie hole instead of to shut his mouth? I remember I used to yell that at my sisters, and my sisters used to yell that at me, and then my mom got mad about it, and we couldn't say it anymore. Okay, what do we need? We need glue if we're gonna adhere everything together, and I don't know that we're doing that tonight. But they look good. They don't look great. They look good. They're base coated, and that's something. This guy has got his coat of paint. These two need to be reprimed, so we're going to set them over to the side. My paint pot guy still needs to be primed. And if I don't find a way to get him primed tomorrow, I'm just going to start going in with paint over whatever we have here and hope for the best. It will not be the best. What else could I do? I could continue doing some freehand on this guy, but honestly, I don't want to do that on camera because it takes forever and I need to focus on it and not be super distracted. So that's probably not going to happen tonight. That's all of the kind of work in progress stuff that I have on my desk. It's all drying or in progress or something. I mean, we could just try slapping another coat of paint on this squig to see if we can fix it. Yeah, let's just put something on there. Speaking of focus check. Thank you. It got all fuzzy when I was showing you those squigs up close. Good call. Good call. Hi, Soda. How's it going? Let's see what would happen if I painted this squig red. Just slap chop some paint on it. The slap chop method is fine. It's just not my favorite way of painting. So I'm just gonna not do that. I don't tend to use speed paint probably as much as I should. Seems like a really good tool that I just don't make a lot of use of. Which is kind of a shame. I definitely prefer this squig in red, which is weird because that's like the typical squig color. So we'll have to add something to him to make him more a clown. I just grabbed red because it was the first color that stood out to me as a possibility. But I guess here you guys are watching me potentially paint another Canon GW scheme. Terrifying. Oh, nice. I hope you get through that last week. I feel like that the last week of school is probably the hardest because neither teacher nor student has any desire to focus on the job. They all would like it to be over. This little squig has like a tail that got cut off. Maybe he got it bitten off by a zoo creature. What kind of things would even end up in a zoo in a Warhammer world? It's worth thinking about. Like, you've got all of the galaxy to pull from, so the zoos must be crazy. This brush is not, it's past its prime. I don't know why I'm using it right now, but it seems to weirdly be working out. Like, I had no problems base coating, and the brush looks like terrible. It's not good. There we go. I like this better with a red squig. Maybe we'll still try and do polka dots, but we'll try like blue polka dots? I don't know. Make his non-round parts white. He'll look like a nose. You might have a point. I don't know if I want to paint him like a giant nose. I don't know if that's the vibe that I'm going for. I am remembering to hydrate, though, because that's important. And I often forget to do that. And then I'm like, why do I feel all gross? It's like, well, maybe try drinking some water. Maybe have a little sip, and you'll feel better. Oh, I have this glue stick. I can put that in the hobby bucket. The hobby cup, tool cup, whatever we're going to end up calling that. Let's give him a little eyeball. I think he needs that. See if we can give him kind of like a kawaii anime eye. I think will be fun. 'Cause why not? Do I have black paint? I should. Yes, I do. Alright, let's see if I'm any decent at painting eyes today. Well, that doesn't look bad yet. Wow, that actually looks good. I have no reason to try and paint a highlight in that. I just actually painted a decent eye. I'm sure it's not showing up on camera, but that's fine. Can clean up these teeth a little bit. Give them some pearlier whites here. Yeah, that's pretty good. I also need to clean up the teeth on this guy because I got other paint on them. So I'll do that now while I have this white out. Not white out, but I have a color that is white-ish. There we go. I think that looks good. What did I say? Blue polka dots I was gonna try on this guy. Try that. I don't know if that red is quite dry though. Might give it another moment. I can add some highlights to the little goblin's cloak. I have a lilac around here somewhere. I do. Off to the side where you can't exactly see it, I have a drawer of all the paints that don't fit in my painting rack, and it's very convenient to just open that up, find what I need, and then put it back after getting it. So that's that noise you hear. It's drawer opening and closing. I think one day I'd like to put up some like nail polish racks for the paint or something like that, but for now I have this and it works fine. I think I was probably going with like vintage Taco Bell colors as I am wont to do sometimes. Which didn't exactly read clown, so that's unfortunate. I don't know quite what I'm gonna do to get this to fit in with Clown Army. I might just give him a little red nose and some clown face paint. Call that good on this little goblin. And, you know, add the polka dots that I said I was going to his squeak. But I think lilac is a nice color. You don't see too many lilac clowns nowadays. I don't know that I've ever seen a clown in lilac. Then again, I don't see that many clowns. So who's to say, really? But I will give him a little red nose. That looks kind of silly poking out from under his little hood, but I love it. Yeah, that was a good choice. Too much red has gotten in there, though. It's flown down. Let's see if I can... Yeah, I can recover that. That looks clown enough. There's very little detail in there, but it's managed to read clown. I think I might highlight the skin a little bit too while still waiting for the squig to dry. If I have anything left, there we go. I'm gonna need to have stuff left in this bottle of elemental bolt. I got goblin bases to rim. That didn't sound right, but I have to paint the rims on several bases that have goblins on them. Nobody comment on that. You all know what I meant in the context of miniature painting. Now he's kind of like Baja Blast colored, but I'm not opposed. He looks good. I think I'll give his hood some polka dots. Just a couple of them. Polka dots are probably the easiest pattern to paint. You literally just put dots on it. They are not hard. And I'm frankly appalled that I have not seen as many polka dot Space Marines as I could. There we go. That's looking clown. We've pulled this back, guys. We've managed to do it. Now the real question is, does his squig still need polka dots? Or am I going to do that thing that I do, where I take something that looks good and I push it too far and then it doesn't look good anymore? I'll at least give the squig some little freckles. He can have freckles, not full-on polka dots. That'll work. It might work. It might not. But if I don't try, I'll never know. It's just texture. It's not really reading as freckles, and that's fine. It's just kind of like, oh, he's got a little something going on there. Kind of looks like fish scale almost. I don't know what kind of fish would have this coloration, but I feel like I've seen this on a fish before. I won't do too much to it, I promise. I'll do exactly the right amount, and then I will stop. How will I know what the exact right amount is? That is the hard part. That is the difficult conundrum that I face every time I try and paint something. There's always a line. I never know where it is, because it changes with each new model. Which is very rude of it, if you think about it. I think that might be it, though. I think I just need to touch up the gold paint that somehow got on his tail. There we go. That's a perfectly acceptable clown now. No one would question what army he belongs in. Let me show you what we got now. This is our boy. Focus. 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 There we go. This is the boy. You can see him here in all his glory. I think he looks pretty decent. He's not, you know, the best thing I've ever painted in the world, but he'll fit into the clown goblin army nicely. It's another one in the books. And speaking of another one in the books, I think that's probably where I'm going to close up tonight's stream. I have to assemble these before I can put a wash on them, and I am not going to do that at basically 10 o'clock at night, because that will not go well. Usually I can like fold down the top of my desk, and that is what means we're done, but I don't have the roll top desk anymore. We're in a new era of I don't know where my camera is shooting, and I'll figure it out eventually. But until then, it's going to be this, and I hope that you're enjoying it just the same. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you have a good night. Stay safe out there.